Oh, snap. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime, news, we do all kinds of stuff over here. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little thumbs up button for me. Ruck, I know, Patrick, you had one job. I know. But I'm here. I'm here, y'all. Make sure you do all the things. TikTok, hit the follow button too. Tap the screen like crazy. 25,000 likes. Let's get it. Here we go. I hope you guys are ready. Mica Miller, JP Miller, Law and Crime did a shocking details in the JP Miller federal investigation video. So let's take a look at it, shall we? Let's go. I'm gonna shrink myself down. Here we go.
As the tragic death of Mica Miller continues to capture widespread attention, the spotlight remains on her husband, South Carolina pastor John Paul Miller. The case has certainly taken a dramatic turn following a recent FBI search at Miller's home and his subsequent arrest after a heated altercation outside of his church. With authorities investigating the man who some speculate is at the center of his wife's death, we're going to break down everything we know so far about John Paul Miller.
Oh, hell. Everything we know so far?
Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Pastor John Paul Miller remains under intense scrutiny after his wife, 30-year-old Mica Miller, was found in a North Carolina state park in April. And
oh, hell. Nikki, yes, he went to jail, but it was for, allegedly tapping a lady's hat with his phone. And then she pressed charges, so it was third-degree battery, which is a misdemeanor.
Authorities determined was clear at the time the two had been separated, and Mica's death, though, has sparked speculation among friends and followers of the case, with some questioning whether foul play was involved. Although, to be clear, authorities have consistently maintained that Mica's she died from a gunshot wound. And they also determined that 45-year-old John Paul was miles away in Charleston when Mica had died. But nonetheless, protesters continue to gather outside the site of the pastor's former ministry, South Carolina Solid Rock Church, demanding
emphasis on former
justice for Mica, calling for John Paul Miller's arrest. We do know that the pastor's home was raided by the FBI at the beginning of the month, though the exact reasoning for that, the findings, remains a bit of a mystery. We've been talking about it, speculating about what's been happening. And most recently, as we reported to you here on...
Y'all, they talk about some things that's things that it could be, a little bit of speculation, but he brings on it's like an FBI, former FBI, and y'all, it's about to get crazy.
On sidebar, John Paul was actually arrested, although he was released on a $776 bond, for getting into an alleged altercation with a woman outside of the area of the Solid Rock Church. Part of that confrontation was actually caught on a witness's cell phone camera. Take a look.
Yo, look at him. He runs up over there. What did you say to me? JP, what the hell are you doing running up on a lady? You are crazy as hell for that.
You what?
Why don't you run up on somebody your own size? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy as hell, though. You can run up on a girl. It's one of the protesters. You could literally run into a wall and it would have been a smarter decision than running up on one of these protesters. That's literally the most ridiculous thing you could have possibly done.
Uh-oh, y'all. What's going on?
Yeah, so a woman can be seen chasing Miller in a parking lot, harassing him. This was a Justice for Mica protest.
But she didn't do what you wanted, JP. She wasn't under your finger.
The woman has been identified.
Crazy as hell. By the way, TikTok, hit the follow button if you're new here. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime, come over to the Mystery Project on YouTube if you want to watch the video with us, because you can actually see the video on YouTube. On TikTok, you can only hear it.
Identified as Sandra Karen, and she could be...
And y'all pinned the Mystery Project up so people know what to look for.
Heard yelling at Miller, who turns back to confront her, and she told a local affiliate that Miller had squared up to her and tapped her on her hat with his phone. So according to police records, John Paul was charged with third-degree assault and battery following this. It's a misdemeanor charge, and he's due back in court in December, but obviously not something he needed given all of the drama and the investigation that's happening. But as we wait for more information into this FBI probe, how this arrest could maybe play into it, let's dive into the top details about Pastor John Paul Miller. And to do this, to help me break this down, I want to bring on somebody who has talked with me before about John Paul Miller. Actually had her on recently before he was arrested. I want to bring on former FBI and CIA agent, News Nation contributor Tracy Walder. She's also the author of The Unexpected Spy. Tracy, so good to see you. Thanks so much for coming back here on Side.
The Unexpected Spy.
Thank you for having me, Jesse.
Wouldn't that be every single spy? Hopefully, like a half decent one.
So since last time we spoke, we were talking about the FBI raid or the FBI search. We'll get into that a little bit later. What we haven't talked about is the fact that he was arrested. What do you make of that?
I don't think it bodes well for him, obviously, especially,
Right.
and I know we're not talking about this yet, but especially if the FBI raids had to do with his propensity for violence towards women. As we know, other victims have sort of spoken out, right? And so this isn't going to play
that part
well in terms of his, I guess, character. Now, granted, this isn't someone who he physically severely assaulted. I understand this is a third-degree charge here, but at the same time, it would go to show to his character of perhaps being hot-tempered. But at the same time, you could also
You don't say. You what?
also say that somebody's going to snap when being harassed, right? So I could see this sort of playing both ways for him, if you will.
And I think in that video, they were suggesting that, the pressure's on you, the FBI is looking into you, and that pressure can mount. I mean, after an FBI search like that, I'm not too surprised that we sometimes see things like that. But I want to get into the history of John Paul Miller. And the first key detail I want to talk to you about, Tracy, is Mica Miller's allegations from her divorce filing from John Paul Miller.
Right.
So what we know is that the two married in 2017. They lived together in Horry County, South Carolina. But then things apparently took a rocky turn because according to those filings, Mica became suspicious that John Paul had been cheating on her.
Oh, man.
She also alleged that he was growing increasingly hostile towards her, threatened to throw her belongings into the couple's yard, looking out of her home, demeaning her in front of the congregation at Solid Rock Church. And by the way, this was the first time that she had filed for divorce because as we heard from Regina Ward, this was Mica's attorney, she was petitioning for divorce a second time right before her death. So Tracy, I just want your take on this because we've heard Mica's family say that she was actually developed mental health issues as a result of her relationship with John Paul Miller. When you hear these allegations and you think of these claims and think about all that has happened since, what is your takeaway from it?
So 100%, I have no doubt in my mind that Mica was severely emotionally, at a minimum, emotionally abused, if not physically in other ways as well. So this is a woman who sustained, in my opinion,
sadly,
a lot of emotional and psychological abuse that has been documented throughout the course of her relationship. There is no question that that is going to take a toll on one's mental health, especially when the
come on.
Abuser, quite frankly, John Paul is the head of a religious organization. That can become even more difficult in terms of her reporting that and feeling that she's in a safe place in order to be able to report that. And so she is shouldering all of that responsibility. And I do believe this is where people feel that he is responsible for her death. He may not have pulled the trigger. Again, it has been ruled a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but he may have paved a way for her to do that and suffer at that extreme emotional abuse, which I have no doubt that she suffered from.
And using a platform like the church to talk bad about her, that's the allegation. Does this divorce filings, do these allegations, do they become of interest to federal authorities? And again, it's a tough question to ask.
Probably. Well, maybe yes or no.
It's a tough,
depending.
It's an easy question to ask. It's a tough question to answer because we don't really know what the FBI is looking into. But do you think they look into these divorce filings?
So yes and no. And again, I don't want anything that I'm saying to come off as heartless or unsympathetic to Mica. I am. I think this is a woman who suffered tremendous abuse. But the reality is the FBI would not investigate that crime on its own. That's not the type of crime that the FBI investigates. They investigate crimes of a federal nature, which this is not. And so
yeah, but think about what is of a federal nature, y'all.
I do think perhaps if they can find this larger
maybe
network.
Things with people not of age.
right, of him abusing women in multiple states, online, those kinds of things that have that federal slant, if you will, then maybe that will come into play. But in my opinion, the state and local government, that would more come into play with them rather than the federal government.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. And going back to the timeline, going back to this, so the two, John Paul Miller and Mica, they separated, we believe, in September of 2023. Mica submitted these divorce filings a month after that, but unfortunately, the troubles between the two would only worsen, because this leads us to another key detail: Mica Miller's claim that John Paul had her involuntarily hospitalized. So this allegedly occurred on February.
Yeah, you were crazy as hell for that.
February 8th, where in a police statement, Mica said that she was involuntarily hospitalized for 2 days. And she said that she had to leave her vehicle in a Walmart parking lot. When she was discharged on February 10th, she told police she returned to that Walmart, saw that her car was gone, and she believed that John Paul had fraudulently had her hospitalized and stole her car while she was away. So when police contacted John Paul about this, he told them, look, Mica suffered from mental health disorders, and that because the two were still legally married, that vehicle was considered marital property. It wasn't stolen. And John Paul also highlighted that these issues with Mica's mental health, that she would spend large amounts of money when she stopped taking her prescription medication. And so he took the car away so she wouldn't sell it. So Tracy, we have these two different competing narratives here. But let's say this is true. What would be
Yeah, what the hell? You are crazy as hell. Oh, I took the car away so she wouldn't sell it. Okay.
the purpose of having her?
Yeah, why would he commit her and then take the car away? She's been committed. She's not going to sell the car. They got Facebook Marketplace in there. She's on her phone, just like, I'm gonna post this thing. I'm gonna take some pictures of the interior. This dude really pisses me off. Oh my god. Mica's benefit concert. Yes. Yes. I wish I could go to that. Yo, I should go to that. That would be so much fun. Justice for Mica. Oh. Abigail Francis. Is that her sister's name?
Involuntarily
Isn't that one of her sisters?
committed. We've heard allegations that he was coercive, that he liked to exert control over her. But you're seeing this kind of alternative explanation for what happened.
You're not that guy, JP.
I believe this is ultimate in coercion, right? This is someone who is asserting his power, who is asserting his dominance. And because you mentioned that they were still legally married, he can have her involuntarily committed. And that, in my opinion, is the ultimate in terms of gaslighting. Look, we don't know what went on behind closed doors in this relationship. We don't. Mica is not here to tell her story. We just don't have that ability. But at the same time, in my opinion, his story doesn't make a whole lot of sense just from a detective point of view, if you will. If he was worried about her,
or just a common sense point of view,
spending money and having these egregious spending habits, which actually can go hand in hand with mental abuse. This is her way of asserting control, quite frankly, over her environment. Taking the car away from her while she's involuntarily committed at a time where she probably couldn't spend any money.
Yeah, there you go.
Doesn't make any sense.
They got a copy of Sky Mall in the hospital. Man, you are crazy as hell, JP. My God. Turn off one-click buy on Amazon. Problem solved. You stupid son of a...
And so, in my opinion, his side of the story actually doesn't add up.
Now, while the bulk of this
Tracy,
complaint, this legal filing, referred to Mica's allegations about the vehicle theft, she also made another disturbing claim. So this brings us to another key detail about the John Paul.
Catherine, thank you so much for joining the channel. So sweet. Thank you.
Paul Miller saga. And this is when Mica Miller alleged that John Paul Miller was grooming her when she worked for him at Solid Rock Church. So according to the police...
Oh, man, you crazy self for that
report, she said that she had known John Paul since she was about 10 years old, that he had been grooming her ever since. And we actually had the chance to...
Man, you gonna burn in hell for that?
...chat with Mica's family about this in a previous episode of Sidebar. And here's what they had to say about that.
He had his sights set on her from a very young age. I would guess probably 14 years old, 14 or 15 when we first came to the church. And he, he made sure that he kept her exactly where he wanted her, to the point of who she married, what job she picked up after she was, 18. He got her married, and then he made her his secretary and his babysitter and
Oh hell, y'all! This makes me scared to have a daughter because I don't know. I'd have to start putting like bail money away every month, because I'd be like, the church pastor, you have to look at and be like, the hell are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you saying that? Oh,
his let's go to lunch person and oh, you're so beautiful.
So Tracy, talk to me about these allegations of and how this factors into this, because when we were on with Regina Ward, we were on together with her, this is Mica Miller's attorney, she seemed to suggest, because she had a little bit more information, that the FBI investigation may be larger than just Mica Miller. And if we're talking about an allegation of, where do federal charges potentially come in?
So Ms. Ward was an excellent guest. I really enjoyed talking with her. And I think one of the things that really stood out was that she actually seemed to agree with me, quite frankly, when I had said that I also believed that these charges were much larger than Mica and either had to do with something with underage children in terms of perhaps grooming, those kinds of things.
Oh, you crazy as hell for that. Delinda, thank you so much. There she is.
Or some kind of fiscal issue with his church that crossed state lines. And she sort of nodded her head. Obviously, she cannot divulge any information that she turned over. But I believe the federal government's involvement probably lies with these allegations, and that other individuals in other states and other counties, even online, perhaps, obviously this is all alleged, could have been a victim of him and could have been. And if that is the case, then now we are looking at perhaps child trafficking, child charges, those kinds of things.
All kinds of child things. Man, you crazy as hell. Oh, JP, what'd they find on those computers?
But again, I'm just hypothesizing. No one has been charged with any of this.
Right. Yeah, he hasn't been charged, but these are kind of would be characteristics of things we could expect or things we've seen in other cases. And by the way, if you're wondering about John Paul Miller's criminal history, so we went on Truth Finder, which has results dating all the way back to the 90s, and all we had to do was put in his name and location, and the results were right there. In 1998, Miller apparently entered a no contest plea in Horry County, South Carolina, to a charge of assault and battery.
1998. You run around doing some crazy stuff like that, listening to Limp Bizkit. Seriously?
You what?
JP, you are crazy as hell for this.
Of a high and aggravated nature. That is a pretty serious charge because it means Miller did some sort of great bodily injury to someone. He was given 500 hours of community service, was put on probation for 3 years. A 4-year prison sentence was suspended. In 2022, South Carolina
4-year prison sentence?
Carolina court records indicate that Miller was actually pardoned for that. Okay, but back to this. So with tensions rising in the marriage, Mica Miller reportedly took some drastic measures to seemingly protect herself from John Paul. And this brings us to another key detail in this story, Mica Miller's filing of a motion for a restraining order against John Paul Miller. So on March 11th, Mica filed this motion through the Surfside Beach Magistrate Court. And it detailed within this order, there are 3 reports of Miller allegedly or harassing her on various days, including spamming her cell phone with calls and text messages, slashing her car tires, and even discovering a GPS tracker on her car. There was a bench trial that was held for this case on March 26th. The case was actually dismissed without prejudice, and there was no restraining order that was ever issued. But what's even more shocking is that John Paul Miller allegedly admitted in text messages to a News Nation reporter that he did put GPS trackers on her car. And he said that he did this not to hurt her, but to find out if she was going to a gun store.
Oh my God.
Tracy, your reaction to that?
Well, that's convenient, isn't it? Here's the thing.
Here's a reaction to it. Heck, you lying. Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop trucking lying.
Us can track people's locations through our cell phones, right? I share my location with my spouse, and I'm sure other people may or may not do that as well. He doesn't need to put a GPS tracker on my car to be able to do that. So it seems very convenient and very specific, actually, that he is wanting the GPS on this vehicle for the sole purpose of following her to a gun store. If she wanted to obtain a weapon, yes, she could legitimately go to a gun store, but there's other ways to obtain weapons as well. And so that wouldn't have been, in my opinion, a foolproof way.
TikTok, hit that follow button. And these little turkey faces, y'all. We better get some turkey action.
Of keeping tabs on her. I believe he put that GPS on her car as a way to control her, quite frankly.
And that goes into the allegations that even if he wasn't responsible, well, if he didn't, right, that he was somehow knew where she was continually spamming her with information, harassing her, and that might have led to her death. Again, that's just what people have been saying. That is an allegation put forward. That is speculation. There's no evidence, actual concrete evidence to support that. And let me also highlight this one more time, that the official autopsy report did rule Mica's death a gunshot wound. And to recap that, here's what we know happened on the day of her death. So on the morning of April 27th, Mica apparently left her home, was captured on surveillance footage, purchasing a gun at a pawn shop. She then drove to Lumber River State Park, placed a 911 phone call telling the dispatcher that she was going to kill herself and that she wanted them to track her location so that her family would know where her body was.
Oh.
She hangs up before dispatchers could really get any further information from her, and then authorities would later discover that she was dead. So Tracy, any reason to suspect something's lacking in this investigation? Any reason to suspect that foul play was involved? Because it can be very difficult to accept that that's what happened. And there might have been a lot of reasons for why Mica did this, but there are those who believe there's something more to the story. So any reason to doubt the investigation in any way?
In my opinion, no, but I do want to talk about the timeline because there's something that's always stood out to me. And this is obviously getting very, very specific and in the weeds, but I've looked at the timeline over and over again. And one of the things that bothered me, yes, obviously she's going to a gun store. Yes, she is calling 911 to give them that information. All of those things we have to recognize, right? We can't just not factor those in. But she filled her car up with gas. And I thought that was really interesting because in my opinion, someone who is pretty intent on taking their own life, which she did over a couple of hours, right, engaged in that behavior, wouldn't be necessarily filling their car up with gas. And so I would have been interested to know if she filled it all the way completely
or pay their car registration.
It's just a way to get her to where she needed to go. I know that sounds very nitpicky, but as an investigator, those are all the things that I would really want to focus on. Now, it's not to say they didn't focus on that. I don't know if they did or not. I'm not privy to that information. But that is the one thing about the timeline, in my opinion, that has always stood out to me. I know this might frustrate people. I am of the conclusion that she did die of a gunshot wound. But again, I am also of the conclusion that I feel that this was a woman who may not have come to this on her own, that she was very much emotionally, probably physically and psychologically abused to be pushed to this point.
And we know what really got John Paul involved was that following Mica's death, he conducts this memorial service for her that was posted on YouTube. And it leads to another key detail, that John Paul's sermon about his wife's passing was...
They're probably going to play it. They're going to hit us with the me, 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 me.
A bit odd.
She'd get tourists to take our picture, and I say, okay, thank you. She said, oh, no, this isn't good. Give it back to them. And they do it again, you know. But she told me, she was so creative. Everything she did was so creative. What's the next picture? What's the next?
You're not even crying.
Picture? She'd stop. We'd be on the way to like a show or something. She said, stop, I gotta get a picture. I said, we're gonna be late. She said, I don't care. What's the next picture? Next picture.
Okay, so there was that. And then following Mica's death, her
he said, well, there was that.
Sister Sierra Francis applied to be the special administrator of Mica's estate, and in a sworn affidavit, she said that Mica had experienced abuse and violence from her husband. We actually had a chance to chat more about this with Mica's family in a previous episode of Sidebar.
As far as the, the legal side of things, I don't have, perfect details of everything. I'm just trying to pick up where Mica left off and make sure that justice is served and that we are able to, remain over her estate and make sure that it is used or allotted in the way that she would have wanted it to, instead of just
Do you know
leaving
anything
everything
about the
with her
FBI
abuser.
being a part of this investigation now? Were you told anything about that, what they might be looking into?
Leslie!
So we are aware that Robeson County did come out and say
Thank you, Leslie!
that the FBI is involved, but as far as, what they're investigating and the extent of their involvement, the family's not sure.
Okay. I wanted to ask you this, both of you this. So look, the main argument, and it's being put forward by Mr. Miller, and what we've seen is Mica, they say, had suffered from mental illness. Do you know anything about that? Anything you could tell us about that? Because one of the things that Mr. Miller has said is he had this power of attorney set up for that reason. What can you tell us about what Mica might have been going through?
So before Mica married John Paul, she had no signs, no history, no indications of mental illness at all. And
why did she presumably agree to a power of attorney? Usually the person who sets up would have to agree to it and sign to it.
He had
Being forced to do it, maybe.
every way to control her, and he was very good at manipulating the situation.
And she thought that he would be doing the right thing. And she wanted to trust that Mr. Miller Jr. was actually doing, until she got away from him and had more time, when she spent more time with us, to peel off some of those layers and realize what was going on. And then she started becoming herself again and got a job and everything else, and was doing fine and was happy-go-lucky self again, excited about the future, and which is something he did not like. He treated her like a piece of property that he did not want to trade or get rid of. Just very terrible.
And this brings me to another key detail. Mica Miller's social media posts addressing this alleged abuse, because in one of Mica's final posts on Facebook before her death, she uploaded a selfie that appeared to allude to her husband's alleged abuse. The caption on that post read, "When terrible, terrible, terrible things happen to you, you all know what I'm talking about. RFP, resting peace face." And she had even posted a video talking about this.
It doesn't matter what gender you are, abuse is abuse. And you are the bride of Christ. And my Bible says that he took all the abuse you could think of for you so that you didn't have to live that life of slavery and bondage and pain. God hates divorce. But why? According to everybody I've asked and the scriptures that I've found, it's because it hurts people. But does abuse hurt people? How do you think God feels about that? So I want to remind you, like a bunch of people have been reminding me lately, that I'm God's bride first.
And I do have to address John Paul Miller's side of all this, which is that Mica was indeed suffering from severe mental health issues, that he was doing what he could to save her. And a few days after her death, John Paul Miller sat down with an ABC affiliate, WPDE, for an interview saying she had struggled with before, and each time we helped her through it. And
Catherine, thank you so much.
Took her to her doctor, and we got through it, and everything was fine. And so this past time, it's still a shock, an incredible shock. And by the way, on the subject of mental health issues, it would appear that even if Mica Miller was struggling, it seems John Paul Miller was too, because this brings me to another key detail. His ex-wife had filed a criminal complaint against him, claiming he was the one suffering from mental health issues. So prior to his marriage to Mica, John Paul was also married to a woman named Allison Williams. The two were married for 16 years before they divorced in 2015. And she filed an emergency custody complaint against him, claiming he was a danger to the couple's two children. I'll give you an example. The complaint reads, "Defendant has exhibited increasingly unstable behaviors, failed to provide a safe and stable environment for the minor children during his periods of visitation, and has exposed and involved the minor children in incidents of domestic dispute and discord." Now I want to talk about something that's happened recently. So another interesting bit of information is that John Paul Miller apparently applied to start a new ministry in Myrtle Beach called Living Water Church. And the business license for Solid Rock Ministries It's still active as of November 6th, although the website's no longer active. And just last week, movers were seen removing items from Solid Rock Church and placing them in moving trucks before driving away. The Solid Rock lettering was also taken off the sign in front of the building. Tracy, your thoughts on the timing of this?
Well, the timing is obviously interesting. This is coming right on the heels, right, of the FBI raid at his own home. And so I am concerned, curious, however we want to put that, and wondering if perhaps the search warrant should have also been served at Solid Rock Ministries as well. I am concerned that evidence may not be preserved because he is moving right to a different location, and that may very well be justified, and that he is moving and opening up another church there. However, I am concerned obviously about the preservation of evidence, especially because FBI agents came.
And Living Water Church, seriously?
How dare you?
I mean, really? That's crazy.
To his home. And, look, I think the way that we have to look at it with John Paul is this: Mica may not be perfect. He may not be perfect, but why is the FBI coming to your home? That's not something that they typically do. And so they have to have very good reason to do so.
And that was my final question to you about the FBI raid at his home, right, which now remains kind of a mystery. They were at Miller's home for several hours. They removed number of items, appeared to be computer equipment more than anything, and Miller didn't appear to be home when the warrant was served. So talk to me about, again, what's the process for this?
Those computers.
Do you think this is related to Mica Miller's death per se, and when we can expect answers from federal authorities about what they found?
So I think I mentioned when we talked before that they purposely serve search warrants of that nature when people aren't home. We surveil people for quite some time before we serve it. Also, I think Ms. Ward discussed the fact that she had provided some evidence to help the FBI obtain the search warrant. I think it might surprise people how much evidence we have a search warrant signed off on, because people have a reasonable expectation of privacy. That's a good thing. We should have a high burden of evidence that we have to provide. And so my only concern is that I am not certain that this has directly to do with the actual death of Mica, because this is about 6 months now, right, since her death, that this search warrant has been served. And I would believe all physical evidence by this point may be destroyed. However, the digital evidence that you had mentioned coming out with computers, flash drives, hard drives, those kinds of things, that's probably where the gold mine of information is. And that's where they might find some of that grooming behavior that we had talked about earlier.
Oh, hell.
That takes a really long time to go through. It's not instantaneous. And so if there is an indictment, I think it's going to be a few months before we see anything.
Tracy Walder, thank you so much for coming on, breaking down this saga of John Paul Miller and Mica Miller with me. Really, really, tragic, disturbing case. We'll see what happens next. But a lot of attention and eyeballs are on John Paul. Thank you so much, Tracy. Great seeing you.
Oh, hell. Man, that is a crazy whole set of circumstances there. What do you think is going to happen, y'all? YouTube, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. TikTok, hit the follow button. But are you guys ready for this? Oh, man. Not Gypsy Rose.
How dare you?
Oh, at least we can laugh at Gypsy Rose's expense. You guys ready for this? Oh, God.
Y'all, today's video is going to shock, horrify, and make you die laughing all.
Hey, we're going to be dying laughing. Oh, great. Here we go. By the way, y'all, this is Wellesley. She's awesome. She is pinned down in the description of the video on YouTube, so make sure you go subscribe to her. But let's jump into this. Oh, damn.
At the same time, because I have the funniest, literally the funniest thing to share with you guys today. I seriously, when I found this all out, I could not stop laughing. It is hilarious. So it looks as though Ryan Anderson, obviously Gypsy Rose's ex-husband, has been living his best life because he has been on TikTok dropping nuggets for us to feast on, like the little gossip drama savages we are. But here's the kicker. He's not even the one posting them. No siree. Both things I'm about to talk about were actually posted by 2 other girls who posted it to their TikTok, which just
damn.
chef's kiss, just makes it that much better. So one of the videos was actually
Oh
posted by
no, is Gypsy getting mad that Ryan's getting some attention?
this girl who is like a waitress or a bartender, I'm hearing, and she goes by Bannon's Banter on TikTok. And in this video, she is with Ryan Anderson, and the video is currently sitting at 21.6 million views. And that was at the time of me
Dear
researching.
God.
So I'm sure by now it has way more. Now, before we watch this, let me just say that this video is so fire because the girl is fine as hell. Let me tell you, she is stunning, and you just know Gypsy's got to be losing her mind over this, which is why I'm saying, like, delicious. We love it. We love it, Ryan. Okay, let's take a look.
Honey, I am so not threatened by you. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. You're just mad because I have a Chad.
So that was it.
she put chalk all over his shirt though from the pool cue. Ryan's like, oh damn, this is one of my good jerseys. Did you guys see that? Look.
Honey, I am so not threatened by
It's
you.
the Saints logo. I thought it was. Doesn't it look like there was chalk right there, like before you look?
My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole.
Look. Oh no,
You're
she
just
did put a
mad
little bit
because
of chalk on there. She chalked him up a little bit.
I have a Chad.
So that was it. Very short, but I mean, just pure gold. And that video alone is just hilarious. But Ryan didn't stop there because, like I said, it's pretty clear that Ryan's out here living his best life. And I love that for him because after everything he's been through with Gypsy and after the hell she put him through, I'm so glad to see him finally putting himself out there. And it seems as though he's finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, like I said, Ryan didn't stop there. He continued with the epic troll, although I don't even think he's trolling. I think he's just living his best life, but it would be an amazing troll because we know how upset this is making Gypsy. It's obvious, as we'll see in a second here. But Ryan posted a second video with another girl where she is just shaking that ass all up on him.
Shaking that what? Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, that Ryan's like, I'm trying to eat my funnel cake. Look, he's trying to eat his cornbread or whatever the hell's up there. This girl is going ham.
So I can't play the sound, but it's just that song that goes, get it, girl, get it, girl. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, as we can see, that girl was twerking all up on Ryan Anderson.
How come you didn't say that girl was pretty? Well,
and that video was posted by JMO for Show on TikTok, and that video is currently sitting at 5.5 million views. But yeah, all in all, that was it. It was just those 2 videos. Nothing too crazy, right? Pretty innocent, if you ask me. I mean, I don't think those videos that those girls posted with Ryan are anything crazy or wildly inappropriate or disrespectful in any way. But of course, it seems as though Gypsy doesn't feel the same because
twerking on somebody, that could be mildly inappropriate.
This,
it looked like he was enjoying it though, so maybe not.
Sent her into an absolute fucking spiral. She then hopped online and dropped what can only be described as the most unhinged comment I have ever read in my life.
Oh, hell. Amanda, yep, come on over to the Mystery Project on YouTube. The Mystery Project. Y'all pin it.
Let's just say she was not impressed, to say the least. Gypsy comments on a repost of that video, the twerking video. She says,
"He is only oh so brokenhearted when he is on live receiving gifts using my name for sympathy and clout. This is so double standard."
Girl, what the hell are you talking about? Girl, you literally do not have a
she hit her with the
leg to stand on when it comes to talking about what Ryan is doing, considering that you cheated on him, lied to him, left him, and are now having a baby with someone else. I mean, do I even need to say it at this point? It's quite obvious. It's honestly hilarious to me that she is constantly going on and on about how unbothered she is and posting about how she's in her unbothered era, when it is so
when you're bothered
obvious that you are bothered as hell. I mean, literally, she cannot even
bothered as hell. I'm gonna have to start saying that one now too.
hide it at this point. This girl is so she's big mad. Big mad. And, you know, obviously, of course, that comment didn't go over well. People are rightly calling her out and being like, girl, what the fuck? Like, what the hell? What are you thinking? You are literally insane, more insane than we thought, if you think you have any right to be telling Ryan what he can be doing or talking about a double standard. Girl, you talking about a double standard? The girl who literally did a measly 8 years, meanwhile, a man with autism who you coerced and convinced into committing your crime for you is spending the rest of his life behind bars. You're talking about double standard. Okay, hilarious. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent there, but
that's suspicious. That's weird.
She's obviously bothered, and she started receiving some comments. I wouldn't even call it backlash, but, you know, people were not having it, let's just say. So, of course, because she can never shut her mouth, she just had to hop on live to clarify her comments.
Oh,
let's hear what she had to say.
So, I want to address
that was a mega eye roll.
A little comment that I made yesterday on a video. I'm sure all of you have clipped it and screenshotted it and seen it. So if you're in this live and you're watching, go ahead and clip this portion of the video, because I know a lot of people will. So,
hey,
girl. I want to
that's all I can't even understand anything she's saying. All I hear is
explain why I put the comment that I put on.
Because you're bothered by him being around other women or other women showing interest in him.
A video
that's why you commented that.
I seen of.
You don't need to say anything other than that.
Ryan
why are you still talking?
Dancing with a woman.
Stop talking. We've already got to the bottom of it. Stop talking.
How do I put this?
Stop talking. What you just did, that's what you should do. There you go. You're getting it.
I want Ryan
never mind.
To move on. And it's like, I don't talk about Ryan in my lives because I don't want to. Like, I don't.
Really? That's what you're doing right now.
Have to. I don't want to. I have lots of other things to talk about.
Then do that. And maybe make some quality content.
So, yesterday when I came across this video,
how dare you?
The last, I want to say, couple weeks, Ryan has increasingly kind of gotten on my nerves.
Girl, you're getting on our nerves.
Right.
I mean, he was my husband. I can say that, okay? And we are.
He still is your husband.
Still technically married.
Yeah, there you go. And you're with some other dude and having a baby, supposedly with the other dude. Come on. And you're mad that some girl was dancing with him? You sound crazy. You sound crazy as hell right now.
So,
sitting in your bathroom, making a video, licking your damn lips. Like, stop that, dude. That's making everybody uncomfortable.
I think it's completely normal for people to go back and forth with each other in little tit for tat ways.
What the hell are you talking about?
Let me stop you right there. Yeah, girl. It's definitely not normal to be going back and forth when you're pregnant with the man that you cheated on, literally cheated on, especially all over social media. That is completely a whole nother level of messy. It's not normal to be airing out all your drama for the world to see. And it's definitely not normal to be putting your unborn child in the middle of all of it. Honestly.
Oh, damn, that's true. Y'all better turkey face me up. We need 4 more of them things. Come on.
Honestly, none of this is normal.
Okay, we are not, I'm not going to say we're on bad terms. We're not on good terms. We're just on.
That means you're on bad terms, you idiot. We're not on good terms, but we're not on bad terms. We're like on not good, bad, good terms. What? Man, you are crazy as hell.
Terms. So,
girl, what the hell does that mean?
When I seen the
video,
I was not jealous. I am happy for
Oh my, I was not jealous. I could see your eye twitch when you said that.
If he wants to go and dance with a million girls, if he wants to go to a club, cool, I'm happy. I don't care.
Cool. You sound like a damn pigeon. Where's your cardigan, you crazy son of a...
Like, I want him to find someone and I want him to be happy.
Cool, man, cool.
But what I am disappointed in is society. So it was not even Ryan's video that kind of like made me frustrated.
You what?
How dare you?
Shut the up. What? You are disappointed in society? You don't think society is disappointed in you? I gotta hear that again. There's no way she said that.
Him to find someone and I want him to be happy. But what I am disappointed in is society. So it was not even Ryan.
You dumb ass. Society? You're disappointed in society. Wow. Okay.
Video that kind of like made me frustrated. It was society's view of the situation.
Society, guys.
So, and I understand that sexism and
what?
favoritism towards men has been a thing for as like long as...
What the hell are you talking about?
Can be, okay?
Oh, hell no. I know she's not about to blame all her bullshit on sexism. Oh my God.
That is the
Girl,
most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
this is your mess. This is the mess you created. You are so drama filled, and every second of your life needs...
Yeah, Gypsy, you're an idiot. First off, you want to talk about sexism? You got 8 years, and the man that you coerced to do that got life in prison. That's sexism right there. That is the most hypocritical thing I might have ever heard in my life. You are crazy as hell for saying that, something that ignorant. Like, that's bad. Oh, gee, thanks for turkeying me up. We need about 3 more of them things.
Revolve around you. That's why you're always getting into some shit. And now you're trying to turn this into a women's rights thing. Nah, girl, we're not buying it.
No, you sound crazy as hell.
So I just don't see how when a man does something, then it's praised. But when a woman does something, she gets slandered and like slammed for it.
It's because of your decisions with what happened to your mom. You are not a good person. It doesn't matter what decision you make. You're not a good person.
If Ryan would have cheated, he would have gotten slammed too. Trust me.
It's hard. I left the marriage. I was not a good wife. I could totally admit where I'm wrong in that situation. But I did file for divorce. I did go ahead and make that separation legally.
Man, you sound crazy. She said, I was not a good wife, so I filed for divorce. What?
And then got with, with Ken. And I'm happy.
Did she just say she got separated and then got with Ken? We have the receipts.
Yeah, you sound crazy as hell.
What are you talking about? You literally admitted in that leaked episode of your trash Lifetime show that you had been talking to Ken since the beginning of the year while you were still married to Ryan. Girl, just stop it. Just literally stop it. Because you know you're
literally stop it.
Lying, and we know you're lying. It's ridiculous.
I'm happy in my life, and I want Ryan to be happy.
Then why are you making this video saying that it's unfair for him to be out there dancing with people, but you can't go out there dancing with people? What the hell are you talking about?
There are very few times that I'm on live and I
get a fucking hobby. Has anybody told her that? Like, where's her family telling her stop doing what you're doing and find something to do that isn't the internet, because you can't do the internet right. So I don't know, go bird watching or something. I don't know. Like, have you ever tried to fly a model airplane? Go on to Amazon and just type in hobbies and just buy some stuff. because you sound crazy.
I go off on about Ryan. Blah, 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 blah. I don't do all that. Now, when I'm asked in interviews about him, I always say the truth. I always say, hey, I hope he's healing. I hope he's doing well. I want good.
You hope he's healing? Looked like he was healing. It sure looked like he was healing. Or he was getting healed on.
Intentions for him. But that's that. That's it. I do feel like all he does is talk about me and his lives. And it is frustrating because it's like you do have your own life going on. So why don't you talk about like your life?
Okay. God. So here's the thing.
Shit is what, okay, God.
I do think Ryan talks about her a lot. However, this was all a very huge part of his life. And it's
one, he wants to stay relevant too.
Not just her life. This is everything that she did to him. So of course he is shocked. He's heartbroken. He's going through all these emotions.
And people don't know Ryan because he did something to put him in the public eye. Well, other than he reached out to her, but it was because of her infamy. You hear that? Infamy, not fame. You didn't do anything good. You still haven't done anything good. Infamy. It was her infamy that's how people know about him now.
Of course he's going to be talking.
So I could see him leaning into that to stay relevant a little bit. But it sounds like people are starting to like things about him separately of her.
Talking about it for a while. This was a huge part of his life, and this was his life too. It's not just her life. She's like, why don't you talk about your life? This was his life. He was married to you. This was a huge part of his life. And in my opinion, I think he is still healing from it. Obviously, he's not fully healed. And I am of the opinion that he can talk about whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And
exactly, he's a grown-ass man.
In fact, I wish he would talk more. I wish
there you go.
He would expose your ass and spill all of your dirty ass little secrets. But you know he's loyal and you know he won't. I think he could talk about it as much as he needs to, and you have no right to tell him to stay quiet about it.
And so it's kind of one of those things that like he can talk about.
Oh hell, somebody put a damn turkey face on Gypsy Rose, and I can't even get 3 more.
About me all he wants, and people,
how dare you,
praise that, and people are okay with that, but I can't even shoot one shot at him at all.
You are though. You are.
Yeah, people, you literally are.
People just don't like it because they think you are scandalous.
And
they think you are scandalous.
I'm like, I get it in one sense, and then another sense, like y'all don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Y'all don't know what I have dealt with this man over the last, year.
Oh no! Oh my God! You mean a marriage is hard? Oh Jesus Christ! Oh, being with somebody is a hard thing to do. Relationships aren't just easy and peasy. You mean you have to work at things that you want to do and want to keep and love and stuff? Oh my God, that's right. You haven't had to work hard for anything. You don't know shit about anything. Oh my God. Shut up. This might be the one that breaks me, y'all. Jackie, thank you. This might be the one that breaks me because this girl is crazy. This is insane. You don't know what I had to go through for the last year. Really? You cheated on that dude, allegedly got pregnant by some other guy, but you had to go through stuff? Man, I'm just going to shut up and hit play because this is crazy.
That's private, and that remains between us.
You had a lifetime documentary film crew follow you around, film everything, and then put a show together. But you're screaming about a private life? You are crazy as hell. Leslie, thank you. Delinda, thank you. We got it. Turkey's done. Ding, ding.
So whatever little shots that he took, that was definitely daggers to the heart.
Oh God. What do you sound like you're writing a song for 2006. What are you, secondhand serenade? Daggers to the heart.
Go unnoticed and like unknown by the public, because I'm not going to put his business out there like that. I have it.
But shout out to John from Secondhand Serenade. He's actually a good buddy of mine. John, where you at? Where you at, John? Let's hang out again. I saw John shotgun like 7 or 8 beers in a row. I've never seen anybody drink that much beer that fast.
So far.
Still a record. I think it was 7 beers in a row. And it was it was like, I don't remember what it was, like Milwaukee Blue or some shit. I don't remember. It was crazy as hell. John, you're a good dude.
Girl, yes, you have. You have put so much of his business out there. Let's see. You talked about how he had a dirty ass fridge. You called him a hoarder. You compared him to your mom. You also said that living with him was like another form of being in prison. You even, and we saw this, girl, you even tried to manipulate him into yelling at you so that you could catch it on camera and then turn around and say that he's been mistreating you. Honestly, you're the reason why we know so much stuff about Ryan, stuff we definitely shouldn't know. And actually, on the show, he even got upset with you because you were airing out so many details that he didn't want out there because he didn't want to get in trouble from his job because he's a teacher. And he was like, the world doesn't need to know about all this, but yet you didn't give a shit. You didn't care. You kept airing out all
that part. Oh, gee, thank you so much. Damn, we might even get that one too.
His business, ew, and airing out and telling us all about your nasty, disgusting bedroom activity and
oh yeah, no, that was crazy as hell too.
Continue to do it even after he asked you to stop, which is information that still haunts me to this day.
Did y'all see that? I got crazy looking on TikTok for a second.
You know damn well you've put plenty of his business out there, so just stop. Just stop.
And so I have done very minimal shots to him. And
minimal shots.
He's done small shots to me, but they are irritating. We irritate each other. We're exes. That is completely normal.
Sorry to stop it again, but I just can't stand how she's trying to brush this off like it's normal ex drama, acting like it's just them being irritated with each other. Like, no, girl, none of this is normal. You planned this all out from the start, and you literally were on your reality show trying to paint Ryan as the villain so that when you inevitably left him for Ken, your audience would be like, oh, you know, it's okay that she cheated and she left Ryan because he was a jerk anyway. And let's not forget,
wow,
you cheated on your husband and got pregnant by the guy you used to make your husband jealous and insecure the entire time.
That sounds crazy as hell.
Then you allegedly go on to feed tabloid stories in order to trash him even more. None of this is okay. Honestly, Gypsy, you are an absolute menace to society, and nothing about any of your relationships is normal.
Damn, ain't that the truth? Winnie, thank you.
And so that's why
Plus, didn't all of your relationships start in prison?
How dare you?
At least the current ones.
Addressing this, like, I do want it.
And the one before that, he ended up in prison for life. So it seems like it's crazy as hell.
His healing.
Girl, maybe you should stop worrying about his healing and start focusing on your own.
I want that for him more than anything. I feel like a lot of guilt for, for breaking his heart. But at the same time, breakups happen every day. Divorces happen every day. It's not something exclusive to us.
That's your logic? Oh my God. You like, I don't even know what to say about that is the most horrific logic I think I've ever heard in my life. People are unalived every day. Does that mean that you can just go ahead and do that all the time? Gypsy Rose, you sound crazy as hell. It's okay to do all this stuff because it happens like all the time, every day. Anyways. What?
Take on it. I feel like for the most part, I've been very classy I might not have always been classy, but.
You what? Bruh.
Unhinged bananas crazy.
Emotional damage.
I know that Gypsy Rose did not just say that she's always been classy. You have got to be kidding me.
I have been trying to be classy about the situation. And I just want him to give me that same respect too. He doesn't have to, but it would be nice. And I think the bigger picture here is there.
What respect do you want? What respect? Here you go. What respect do you think you earn? What respect should anybody have for you? You sound crazy.
Is a child in this situation. It's not his child, so I know that it's not his problem, but there is a child involved.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Oh God. What the yeah, the class in the is fire comment. Yeah, that was pretty crazy as hell too, wasn't it? Oh God.
First of all, since she wants to talk about being classy, Ryan has really never said anything to make her look bad or to drag her in any way. I mean, honestly, the worst thing I can really think of that he's ever said about her was the story about her pulling out $12,000 from their joint checking account without telling him for Taylor Swift tickets. And if that were me,
She pulled out $12,000 for Taylor Swift tickets?
You what?
Oh God.
be doing a lot more than just telling the internet about it. So she should honestly consider herself lucky there. But even while thousands
Right?
of people are in his lives and in his comments begging him to tell more and give us the tea, he's still always remained respectful. And I think almost to a fault. It's almost been annoying to see how much he has supported.
Oh, she tried to.
Supported her through all of this, and people have called him out on it and said, you know, it's very cringe. And
I didn't even know Taylor Swift still did it. Does people still care about Taylor Swift? I thought she like stopped making music like 15 years ago, it feels like. Is she still a thing?
And you look kind of silly defending her after everything that she's put you through. So honestly, she's very, very lucky. Any normal guy that was with her that wasn't Ryan would have dragged her out by now. Trust me. Most guys are not going to be as respectful and loyal as Ryan has been throughout this whole thing. And yet, on the other hand, you have literally defamed and dragged every person's name through the mud that you've ever had a falling out with, including your own mom. That really says a lot about your character and the type of person you are. And also, while we're on the subject, Ryan owes you nothing, and he doesn't owe your child anything either. Not a damn thing. So for you to
is not his.
Sit here and use your child to manipulate him into doing what you want is just wild.
That's sick.
And honestly, disgusting. But you were right about one thing. This isn't his problem. It's yours now. And I'm not saying that having a baby is a problem, but your baby, your mess, and your relationship, that's your problem, not Ryan's.
And right now, me and him are acting very childish of our own. And we both need to grow the fuck up.
That sounds like a whole lot of projection.
Because it's not about him, it's not about me, it's not about Ken, it's about this baby.
No, it's not.
No. Your life is about that baby now.
Yeah.
You and Ken are the ones who are dedicated.
Didn't you say that you got or filed for divorce from him? So how on earth is that his problem at all?
To raising that child. As for the rest of us and for Ryan, stop trying to drag him into your situation with your family and your baby. He can do or say whatever the hell he wants. And if he wants to get on this internet every damn day and talk about your relationship with him, that's his prerogative. There is nothing you can do or say about it. You need to realize he owes you nothing and he owes nothing to your baby.
This baby is innocent in all of this. This baby didn't ask to be brought into the situation.
Are you right about that?
The grown-up thing to do would be for the both of us to stop this tit-for-tat game, and once the divorce is final, go our separate ways. Like, I'm happy in my life with Ken. We're expecting a baby. He can have a girlfriend. I don't care. I don't care. I'm happy for him.
Man, you sound like you're not so happy. Oh, God. Man, she's talking about the adult thing to do. Maybe the adult thing to do is when you're married, not let some other dude up in them sweet walls and boom, baby time. That might be a responsible thing to do. Man, he's crazy as hell for this. Oh, God. Y'all, hit me with some donut action. We need some donut action. This is crazy.
But
girl, then why'd you come on the internet and start all this damn?
Oh, and TikTok, hit the follow button if you're new here. My name's Patrick. Hit the follow button if you're new. We do these true crime lives and this stuff literally every night. Come over to YouTube if you want to watch the video, because you actually see the video over there. It's the Mystery Project on YouTube. Thanks for the follows, y'all. But the Mystery Project on YouTube. Come over and subscribe. We're live there right now. And let's keep going.
Drama. Why involve yourself in something that had literally nothing to do with you? Nothing. And why comment something like that on a video where Ryan is finally putting himself out there and having fun? Clearly, you do care. And clearly, you're very bothered.
Yep.
For me, it's kind of like, don't sit there and then constantly be like, she's my wife. I can talk about her all I want. She's my wife. She's my wife. She's my wife. Well, looking at that video, that's my husband. That's my husband. He's slapping some girl's ass. That's my husband.
Gypsy, stop.
Yeah, Gypsy Rose, you sound crazy right there. Seriously?
Don't come around here trying to claim him as your husband after everything you put him through. You broke his heart, tore up his entire life, and then kicked him and Pixie to the curb. Now that he's happy and starting to enjoy life again, you're sniffing around. Gypsy, get out of here.
We're still married. He's still married. I'm still married. What I'm saying is 2 wrongs don't make a right. So, with that being said, this is the last time I'm talking about him on social media. I'm not going to talk about Ryan, and I would hope
this is the last time you're going to talk about him on social media? You lying. Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop trucking lying.
that he would give me the respect, or if he doesn't respect me, please respect my child. Because
what?
My child doesn't deserve all this chaos.
What chaos?
What? What does your child have anything to do with Ryan dancing with a girl on TikTok? And again, Gypsy, he doesn't owe you anything. It sounds like you're confusing him with Ken. He's gone. He's not responsible for you. And stop using your unborn child to guilt trip us. It's not working. And if all
No, it just makes you look crazy as hell.
All this drama is stressing you and your baby out so much, then stay offline. Weren't you just on that podcast talking about how you and Ken stay offline and don't get involved in online drama? Yet here you are. What happened to
getting involved in online drama?
that? What happened to you guys staying offline? Because to me, seems like all you ever do is stir up drama online and then play the victim. And quite frankly, we're all sick of it.
And that's the way I feel about it. Like, I want us all to be at peace with the situation and, like, move on.
It sounds like you're the only one not at peace with the situation.
Like, I'm doing my best to move on. I don't purposely shoot shots at Ryan often. So when I do, it's because I'm, like, really, really fed up. And, I mean,
Really?
raise your hand in the chat if you've ever had an ex that just got under your skin, dude. Like, seriously.
Got up your skin? That doesn't even make sense. No, you had an ex get in your skin while you were married to him, and then you created even more skin in your womb because he got up in your skin, and now the other dude's up in your skin or whatever this skin. I don't even know because you're confusing the hell out of me, but you sound crazy as hell.
Like,
and now you're going for the chat to like justify your craziness. Oh yeah, chat. Have you ever had a
and the thing
what
is like in the past.
Thumbs up, chat. Have you ever had an ex that's just crazy as hell? It says crazy things like this. Oh,
Like, he has said on lives, like, I'm moving on, but then like 2 days later text me.
God almighty. You know what you need to do? Put on some Rascal Flats. I'm moving on.
That he misses me, and I know that's part of the healing process. But I feel like it's a facade for lives and people, the public.
Oh, like everything in your life. Oh my God, this girl is so hypocritical. It hurts. It's like it physically pains me to hear the amount of hypocrisy she has.
I feel like he's not really moving on when he does that. So yeah, I get frustrated. I still don't know what's going on with this freaking court. I texted.
I can't with the filters.
Yesterday. She was supposed to give me a call. I'm waiting for her to give me a call. Last thing I heard was that like Ryan went in to sign the divorce papers. So I signed, he signed. We're just waiting for a court date and for the judge to finalize everything. And like,
oh my God,
pastors.
Oh Jesus Christ! I hit the wrong button. Son of a.
Because I know you have a good heart. You have a good heart.
You're waiting for the judge to sign off on everything, and then it's just magically going to be better.
Please, please, please,
just like that piece of paper magically made things better in the beginning. Didn't that fixed it for you? Didn't it fix it for your relationship?
Can
oh my God.
We just think about my child for a second in this and be wrong about it.
Nobody, like, you need to think about your child. You and who you're saying is the baby's father.
That's all that I ask. I'm not trying to come at you. I'm not trying to prevent you from healing or getting a girlfriend. I'm happy if you do. My wish is that, you know, I have my happiness with Ken, and you have
you seem real happy.
someone that will love you the way you should be loved. Because I know you have a good heart. You have a good heart. And I'm hoping that you didn't let me ruin that good part in your heart that does love so openly.
Yeah, Ryan, I really hope my dark, black, empty, rotten soul didn't ruin your heart.
So I really, really wish the best for you if you're watching this. So, so with that being said, I'm going to be a mature adult. I hope you will too. And
oh God, you're so mature.
Let's do the right thing and get divorced and then go about our lives. So with that being said, I have went on a rant long enough.
Hey, that's the first true thing you've said. Oh my God, there we go. See, that was the truth.
And I hope.
I'm surprised you didn't like burst into.
How dare you? That all of y'all have taken what I've said to heart and maybe had a little bit more understanding about where I'm coming from. I'm a frustrated ex-wife. He's a frustrated ex-husband. Like, we're gonna go through these tit for tat stuff, and unfortunately ours is just playing out in the media and ours is playing out on social media. So
because of you.
So it's you know, I wasn't right in the marriage. I didn't do right by my marriage. I know.
So hey, there you go. There's some accountability.
That there are things I can't take back. There are hurts I can't take back. But I can apologize and say that yeah, I did wrong. I did wrong. Not proud of it.
Okay, good. Then stop talking and back the hell off. Like why are you even saying anything about it?
I'm human, learning from my mistakes.
I can't stand when people say stuff like that. It's such a cop-out. But honestly, I wouldn't expect anything less from her.
Yeah, no joke.
When people say things like, oh, I'm human, I'm learning from my mistakes, but don't actually learn from their mistakes or change their future behavior.
Don't do anything. By the way, TikTok, hit that follow button if you're new here. The YouTube is The Mystery Project. Y'all, somebody pin it. One of the mods pin The Mystery Project. Y'all search The Mystery Project on YouTube, subscribe. We're live there right now, and you can see the video over there.
Behavior, or explain what they learned and how they plan on changing. It's just so lazy. Like, yeah, we're all human, we're all learning, but that doesn't mean that all of us are making these massive, reckless, selfish mistakes. Being human doesn't excuse any of that. And quite frankly, a lot of these mistakes that you've made in your life are very much inhumane.
So
Right.
With that being said, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go get dressed for the day. And I hope y'all all have a wonderful election day. Y'all are building a good future. I guess that's my inspirational quote for the day, I guess.
What the hell are you talking about now?
Girl, what does that even mean? Just stop. You're horrible at this.
Yeah, you sound crazy as hell.
Bye. Bye. Yeah, so that
She was the wave on the way out.
video
too.
was a lot of manipulation, a lot of gaslighting, even though I hate using that word, a lot of weaponizing of her unborn child.
right?
It just feels gross, and I do honestly feel straight up gaslit. You know, this whole thing is basically saying, you guys can't talk about me because I'm pregnant and it's stressing me out, and Ryan can do whatever he wants, but then when I do it, it's a problem. It's a double standard and it's so sexist. And it's like, no, girl, when you did it, you were married, you were literally cheating, and he's doing it now and moving on because you've left him. He's single now. I don't really know how it's so difficult to understand that. You literally used him.
Because she doesn't understand anything. She didn't understand one of the core values of life is that you don't take another human being's life, especially not your own mom. She didn't even learn that lesson. How is she supposed to do anything else if you can't learn that lesson?
When you got out of prison for a place to stay, you didn't want to stay with your parents, allegedly. You know, now you want to play the victim and you want everyone to feel sorry for you, you know, because society is so sexist because they're not yes girling you the way they are with Ryan when we've been waiting for Ryan to move on. I think I feel like she does understand this, but she's trying to spin this like she always does and manipulate us into feeling sorry for her. But it's not going to work because we all see through her now. And that's
because clearly we're all done with the BS.
What I think she needs to realize is like, we don't buy her anymore. You know, we're gonna keep calling her out. All her little manipulation tactics, they're never gonna work anymore because we're onto her. They may have worked before when she was fooling the public, her mom when she was in her wheelchair, but we know the truth now. It ain't working ever again. And all I have to say is like, Gypsy, if this is so stressful for you and you feel so wronged by society, then girl, stay offline.
There you go.
Stay off.
Damn, somebody said it.
Offline. No, I thought you and Ken said in that podcast that you two stay offline. So why are you even here? She can't help herself. She has to come on here and try to spin things to make herself the victim and make herself look like she's the one that's being wronged. And you know, the reality is what Ryan does online or offline is literally none of her business. And the fact that she even has an opinion about it is just completely wild. Completely wild. Ryan doesn't owe you anything. He doesn't owe your baby anything. He doesn't owe your family anything. And at this point, he is allowed to live his life however the hell he wants as a single man. And just when I thought the situation had come to an end, it didn't stop there, folks, because then Ruby came out. And for
what the hell does that mean?
those of you who know Ruby know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, listen, baby, I know I was a bad girl, but come on. You'd have to be crazy not to take me back.
Ew.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it's becoming pretty obvious that Gypsy is looking more and more unhinged lately. A lot of people think she's talking about Ryan in this last video for obvious reasons.
Gee, I wonder why.
Unhinged bananas crazy.
And many are speculating that the reason she's spiraling is because now Ryan is closer
because she has no skills
than ever to spilling all of her.
She's got no coping skills. She's got no skills. She doesn't know how to function in life or society or anything. She's just flying, you know, what do they call it? Off the, what is it? Not the seat of your pants? Yeah, fly off the seat of your pants.
her dirty little secrets. But honestly, I have a completely different take on it. I don't really think she's worried about Ryan spilling her secrets. I think that Ryan is a really loyal guy, and she's very aware of that, in my opinion. I think what really got her upset was that she can finally now see that Ryan is starting to move on. And to her, this means that she's starting to lose her grips on him. This whole time, she, along with everyone else, have watched Ryan go through his healing process, venting on TikTok Live, sulking, being sad about her, to the point where people were growing concerned for him. But now that he's seemingly pulled himself out of that and has started to take baby steps, getting out there, looking happy again, kind of looking like he's starting to move on, she obviously doesn't like that. In my opinion, she likes having Ken and Ryan at odds with each other. We saw how she set that up on her Lifetime show.
Yeah, because it makes people talk about them just like this.
She literally turned those two men against each other. But if Ryan is no longer fighting for her and
Tracy, thank you. Y'all, we need some donuts to go with that coffee. Give me a little donut action.
No longer jealous of Ken, and if there's another girl in the picture, she can't control him anymore. And she knows as long as he's wanting her back, like she said in the video, you want me back. As long as he's wanting her back, she knows she can still control him and control the narrative. But imagine if there was another girl in his life. He probably wouldn't listen to Gypsy anymore. He obviously would.
Yeah, that's true. Tracy, thank you for those spirit fingers.
Start listening to his new girlfriend, and Gypsy knows that she can't control another woman. I think deep down, Gypsy is a severely insecure person. And if Ryan isn't lusting after her and sad and wanting her back, then she loses that power and confidence that she's been desperately trying to hold on to. I don't think she really believes Ryan would ever spill her secrets. I think she believes that Ryan is so loyal that he would never. Maybe she'd be afraid that he would write a book or something or go on like a tell-all interview, but I don't think she really
put Ryan Anderson on Joe Rogan. That would be hilarious.
Let Ryan in that much. I don't think she ever really told Ryan anything that serious that would land her back in prison or anything like that. Maybe Ryan knows secrets about her pettiness and how petty she is, and all of her with her family and all that kind of drama, which I don't think is that crazy, even if it were to get out and Ryan were to spill it. I think more concerning is, the stuff with her crime and her case. I think that's kind of more serious, and that's the kind of secrets and tea that we really want to hear. But I don't think she really told Ryan any of that. I think that's the kind of that she would take to her grave. I don't think she's really told anybody else about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I think it's more about control with her. I think her insecurity is so deep that she really doesn't want Ryan moving on because she really wants to control him still, because that's what's feeding her. That's what's keeping her confidence alive. I really don't think Ryan knows the deep, deep, dark secrets,
Ooh, I guess we met. The world may never know.
How dare you?
Crazy as hell. YouTube, I love you guys. Hit the thumbs up button before you go. Hit the subscribe button. When this ends, it's going to shoot you over to the haunted side on YouTube. Go watch some of the ghost hunting stuff, y'all. It's all playing right now. I think I'm at Papa's Ranch House, y'all. Go check it out. And TikTok, what are y'all doing? We need some donut action, y'all. Hit that follow button if you're new here. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime and all kinds of other stuff, we go live every night, virtually every night. So take a second, hit that